southpaw who dealt Williams his only professional defeat. It was a long time ago, though. Read into that what you may. Must-win fight, though, Jim, if he's going to have any pretensions of fighting at world elite.
Yes, 32 years of age, he won't be expecting any second chances. He wants to capitalise on the position he holds at the moment and hopefully move a step further just to let us know how good he can be.
Sometimes a relaxed style from Williams, but then he can be explosive, dramatic, and very, very clinical. How will he deal with this Martinez, who did share a ring with the world welterweight champion Antonio Margarito, who stopped him in 7. Now up at light middleweight, and there seemed a natural size difference on the scales last night, and you can see it in the ring as well.
The first problem for Williams is obviously the southpaw jab that's landed several times already. Williams hasn't had a chance to respond yet. There it goes again. That's certainly going to be the biggest early problem for Williams.
Crisp start from Martinez. Williams attempts again with a body shot of his own. Southpaw who beat him was Michael Alexander. It was only over 4 rounds, and just one of those blitz early on.
I think it's one of those cases, quality fighters shouldn't be fighting over 4 rounds there. You need time to do a job properly. 4 rounds is a sprint distance and silly things happen.
Yeah, got one, man.
And the other southpaw he met, Andrew Murray, he dispatched in 3 rounds, so maybe not such a problem. Good right from Williams, and that shook Martinez. Is that the added power? Is that the added weight?
Well, Martinez definitely shaken up by that. He seems to have his wits about him again, but that one stunned him momentarily.
Richard was saying when he shook hands with Martinez at the press conference, he felt his strength.
I think it's his awkwardness that may be a bigger problem than his strength.
Hasn't got the jab going just yet for the big hooks.
I think Martinez is just nicking this round off the jab. Williams not been busy enough. He's intimidated him once or twice. He's shaken him up. I don't think he'll be too disappointed in it with his start. I think Martinez nicked the first round.
Richard Williams with Don Davis, and in the other corner Sergio Martinez with Ricardo Atocha. He's 28, he's won 28 of his 30. That one defeat by Margarito and one draw as well. That was in his 3rd fight. Another 4-rounder, Jim.
Yeah, but we have to remember also most of his work has been done at welterweight. And we saw in the first round that Williams can walk straight up to him, can walk through his punches and let his own punches go. So that could be a big problem for Martinez, and I think the sooner Williams starts doing that, the better. Because signs that this fellow can mess him around.
Yes, in the independent rankings, Martinez comes in at 17 at 10 stone 7, and Williams number 8 at 11 stone. Here's the second of 12. IBO title, property of Richard Williams. 4th defence, the likeable Londoner in the red trunks, looking for win number 18 over the Spanish-based Argentinian Sergio Martinez. Williams admitted that he hasn't seen much at all of Martinez, but he also said that he's got to fight anyone they put in front of him. Hasn't been as smooth a career as his style, has it?
No, he hasn't always produced his best boxing. I think that's been his problem, and I think he had some health problems which lingered a little while. Took a year and a half away from him. But once he gets into a groove, he really is a smooth operator. He's just taking a couple of rounds here to get started.
Often he does. When he won the title against Shannon Taylor, he lost the first 2, possibly even 3 rounds, and then took the belt in a dramatic 4. Good right from Williams.
See, the fact that Williams was able to walk Martinez down, that could be the big problem for the Argentinian, because if he doesn't have the power to keep Williams away, he's going to have some real problems.
He did feel the punch power of Williams in the opener.
He's still busy with the jab though, Martinez. Williams, I'd like to see him a little bit busier.
It's good work from Martinez with the jab. Uppercut from Williams, partially blocked. But legs just looked a touch shaky there from the Argentinian, and another right hand from Williams. Is that simply going to be the difference here?
I think that is. I mean, the strength of Williams is evident as early as this. Then that's the big problem for Martinez. But Martinez is busy. He's probably nicking this round as well, just off the jab, just outworking Richard. But I'm sure Williams will be pretty happy the way things are going. If you get in range, and I think that would probably be his big worry. How difficult would it be to get in range with this fellow?
Quick hands from Martinez, eager, keen, looks tough. Can he handle that size difference, which is becoming evident? You see the punches already thrown by Martinez, over 100. And landed more, but maybe the better quality from Williams. Would you like to see him do more and just unleash them a little quicker?
Well, fighters take their personality into the rings with them, and he's a cool, laid-back kind of guy, so I think he's going to take a couple of rounds to get started anyway. It's happened before in fights. But that's 2 rounds he's allowed this fellow to nick on my card. The quality punch is coming from Williams, but I think double them up now. Really start getting down to work.
Round 3.
Here's the round that he won the Commonwealth title, Richard Williams, in a beautiful performance against the Russian-Canadian Tony Badea in Crawley in January a couple of years ago. Can he make a real imprint on Sergio Martinez now? Got a lot of pressure on him, Williams, hasn't he? Every single fight. He's 32. People always ask the question, is he going to go all the way? So every time he gets into the ring, he must have that.
Yeah, but I mean, at this level, he should be supremely confident that he can handle these guys and do a pretty good job on them. So I suppose the pressure to perform, but love a shot.
Wonderful right hand, rocks Martinez and puts him down in the 3rd. Richard Williams, who has 14 knockout wins in the 17 victories, again looks for the right hand, loading up on his shots now. Williams, he knows he can hurt Martinez, he knows he can finish him off.
He should take his time here. Every solid punch he lands, it troubles this guy, so he's not in any hurry. He'll have him on the hook several times tonight. He can take his time. Why waste energy? You know, hit elbows at the top of heads. Just keep it cool. The chance will come again.
Antonio Margarito stopped this man in 7. Richard Williams told us he would do it quicker and make more of an impression. Slight swelling just by the left eye for the Englishman. Happy with his tag as the nicest boxer in Britain. Helps the elderly out, Meals on Wheels down in Stockwell. Hoovers for his mum. Such a friendly guy, but he says once he gets in the ring, business is business. And if anybody thinks I smile there, they are hugely mistaken.
Just maybe lacks a little bit of sharpness, Williams. Just needs to get him off that a little bit quicker. This fella's blown up welterweight, he's quick. Just a little more sharpness.
Interesting you say that, because it has been fairly short notice, the change. I'm not sure he got the best sparring for this one.
Well, that would certainly show up to the lack of sharpness in the first couple of rounds, but the good news is the fact that every time he lands cleanly, the punches have an impact on this fella, so signs are he has the strength to force a stoppage, but this fella's not bad.
Martinez heard him the first, down in the third. All Richard Williams at the moment. Quietly spoken Don Davis, sitting Richard Williams down, and this was the punch that got through.
It wasn't even a full-blooded shot, well delivered, but it kind of glanced off his chin, but you can see the effect it had on him. Bang, no question, legs have gone completely. He did well to get himself back together from that. Lovely punch. There it is, kind of glanced off his chin, but enough power to send him over.
Showed heart and steel. Already a worried look on the face of Sergio Martinez, who's been such a happy-go-lucky character here in Manchester this week. Very animated. Starting to find out how serious Richard Williams is about his boxing career. The 32-year-old in the red and white trunks and black boots, standing 5'9", giving a little in height away to the southpaw, based in Madrid, originally from Buenos Aires. But what can Sergio Martinez do now? He's just got to try and get that jab moving again, hasn't he, and fiddle Williams around.
Yeah, I think you can see already his plan is to use the ring to annoy Williams with the jab. So, but Williams has found out already he can walk straight up to Martinez and let the punches go. He can afford to take chances here. He's the one with the power.
He was very disappointed, Richard Williams, about his performance last time out at the York Hall against Andre Pestraev. Pestraev was the man that beat Steve Roberts and picked his unbeaten record, and Williams won very, very comfortably on all the cards, but he wasn't happy that night. Why was that?
He probably felt if you win a fight so convincingly and you can consider yourself a powerful puncher, you should be forcing a stoppage. Maybe that was his disappointment, but that's the only thing that was left out. I mean, he won it so clearly.
Has of course had the problems with the cuts, two very bad ones above the right eye when he fought the Newport banger Paul Samuels for the first time, and in a technical draw, and he was out for 6.5 months. Cuts didn't reopen again in the rematch, in which he outlasted and outclassed Samuels. Good fights though.
This fellow's looking like he could steal another round. Williams not getting close enough. He's been flicked for the jab. They're not quality punches, but Williams is doing very little himself. His timing just doesn't seem to be quite as sharp as it should be.
Often very fluid, Richard Williams. Certainly not in this round.
Yeah, there's a lack of sharpness in his work at the moment, so I think it might be one of those nights where he has to force out a performance. Sometimes it flows, sometimes you just got to dig in and force it out, so maybe one of those nights is in prospect for Williams. But I reckon Martinez is nicking this round again, just that little bit busier.
Better round for Martinez.
This just the first of 4 title fights from Manchester tonight, before the World Heavyweight title later, live from Los Angeles. It's a special event on Sky Box Office tonight. If you have ordered and experienced any difficulty receiving this, the number to call 08705 800 888. 08705 800 888.
Spine tingling, isn't it? Lennox Lewis against Vitaly Klitschko later. At the moment, one of our most talented fighters in Britain, light middleweight Richard Williams. There's the team: Don Davis, the Sims brothers, and Bob Paget, who used to look after Crawford Ashley. Plenty of experience in there, guiding him. And how happy will they be? He's had his man on the floor, but he's had a little difficulty with the southpaw style and the timing.
I think it's the timing. I don't think the southpaw stance has troubled him in the slightest, but he's too slow to react. So Martinez has nicked a couple of rounds, certainly on my card. It's good that he scored the knockdown and gave himself one big round, but he has to let the punches go.
Searching for that left hook, the one that floored Tony Badea at the start of that 3rd round to the top of the temple. Flashy shot that Richard Williams throws. Likes to think of himself like a Michael Watson, when Watson was at his very best. Good defensive fighter. Martinez has not been overawed, has he?
No, he's actually gaining in confidence. I mean, he was badly shaken a couple of times. He's been on the floor, but now he's the one having a little bit of success. I mean, not quality punches, you have to say. A lot of them are flicks. But when Williams isn't coming back with anything, then you've got to score them. There he goes again.
Best shot of the contest from Martinez. And Richard Williams felt that. There was a patch in the first fight against Paul Samuels where he was in a little difficulty. Some at ringside felt if that fight had gone on, Samuels may well have won it. Not sure, we don't know.
There's 4 punches without reply from Martinez. Now, this is not what we expect from Richard Williams. He's definitely far too slow to react. I don't know if, as you're saying, the sparring wasn't what it should have been, but that's exactly how it looks. Timing nowhere near as sharp as it should be. There he takes another one.
No, he was working with Ozzy Duran, the talented welterweight, for a while. But that's when he thought he was fighting at the beginning of June. And these changes in dates may have affected him slightly. It's in terrific condition on the scales, coming in at 10, 13, 12. It's that jab again gets through from Martinez.
Williams is just going to have to grit his teeth, as I said earlier, and just grind out a performance. There's something missing so far tonight, and it's the sharpness. So if you can't do it the classy way, then just use the strength and power. It has to cut this fellow, cut the ring off on this fellow, pin him in the corners and let the shots go, giving him too much freedom.
It's been Martinez who's got the jab off first tonight, and normally that is such an impressive punch from Williams. Is it pretty even Stevens at the moment, despite the knockdown?
Yeah, I think it's the knockdown that's actually kept it fairly close. But Martinez, for me, is stealing the rounds. He's quicker than Williams, his reactions are good, his tactics are right, he's just landing and getting out of there. He's not standing his ground. So the fact that Williams has scored the knockdown is keeping the points fairly tight. But really, a lot of improving to do for Richard Williams' work.
Look at the jabs landed 8 times more for Martinez.
That's shocking, Adam. That is really shocking. A man who has an excellent jab.
He would be shocked, Richard Williams, if he'd seen that stat. He shakes his head. Something is not right in there tonight, you feel. Here's the 6th. Remember, the red trunks of the 32-year-old IBO 11-stone champion. 4th defence. Some people think the classiest light middle in the country, who would have a chance at world level. But this Sergio Martinez has come over very confident, at ease, and he's trying to dictate the pace of this fight, and he's having a good deal of success.
Well, Martinez is giving us pretty much as we expected. Richard Williams is the one who's not producing. And at the start of a round, to be shaking your head, what was going through his head at that point?
This would be an absolutely huge upset if Richard Williams was to lose his belt tonight.
Stop! Break!
Well, Williams is not outboxing this fellow, so I think you better find a way to drag him into a war. Just force him to stand and trade.
He knows he can hurt him though, Jim.
But there, another 3 or 4 punches without reply. Martinez took a big deep breath at the end of the last round, at the end of the 5th. So I wonder maybe is he beginning to feel the pace. I mean, being in with a naturally bigger man, it does take it out of you. But he's still boxing so well.
The stylish boxer looks anything but. Richard Williams struggling with his range, his use of shots, not moving his head, not looking as confident as usual. What is the problem?
Stop!
Well, the biggest shock for me, Adam, was him shaking his head at the start of the round. I mean, he knows there's something wrong, but he just got to go out and fix it. No one else is going to fix it for him.
Oh, combination from Martinez. When do you normally see Richard Williams take shots like that?
Yeah, without reply. So many times he's taken punches without reply. That's what's so unusual. That's better.
Doubling up with the right hand. And again from Williams. Can Martinez match him? He's outboxed Williams and backed him up like that at times. Can he stand and trade with the bigger man? This is interesting.
Head run.
It's all pretty quiet. Look at that. Punches thrown from Martinez. Landed 84 to 63. This is the way he's been boxing tonight, Martinez, and he hasn't allowed Williams to do what he normally does.
Yeah, well, this is exactly what we expected from Martinez, but Richard Williams is not a patch on the Richard Williams that we expected to see. He's so slow to react. He did come back well at the end of that round, but for me it was too little, too late. He has to draw this fellow into a battle. He's not outboxing him. There's definitely something missing from Richard Williams tonight.
Second half. IBO 11-stone title at stake. So let's see how Jim's got it at the halfway point. And, well, Richard Williams has some work to do.
Yeah, the first couple of rounds were fairly close. You could see either way that they were quiet. I mean, if the judges had been kinder to Williams, I'm sure they'd be delighted about that. I just saw Martinez stealing them as well, just being that little bit busier. So on my card, Williams has big problems. This is more like it. He's initiating the attacks now. He's forcing the opponent back. has to let some punches go, has to use his strength.
Just shook his left hand there, Martinez. Not sure whether that was out of frustration or maybe a slight problem with it, but the combinations are flowing from the man who's looking for his 13th win in a row. Last 4 in Madrid. Now based there alongside Pablo Sarmiento, fellow Argentinian who's been in Spain too. Pablo Sarmiento was a scourge of the British boys. Is this man going to upset the apple cart and inflict what would be a devastating defeat for Richard Williams if that was to happen?
Every time as Williams throws a punch and misses, you can see that disgusted look, that disappointed look in his face. He shouldn't be showing opponents these things.
The decent amateur Richard Williams had a real scrap with Wayne Alexander. We hope maybe that would happen in the professional ranks, but Alexander's moved up. Possible fight with Takaloo, but they're different organisations, different promotional outfits. And well, on this performance, would you give Takaloo the edge?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to. There's no way. There's something drastically wrong with Williams tonight. I don't know what it is. His timing is non-existent. He's doing a little bit better in this round because he's forcing the pace, but this is not what we expect. We expect smooth boxing, quality technique. A low blow here.
Just complaining there, Martinez, and referee Frank Santore Jr., the American, is giving Martinez time. Didn't look terribly low, did it, Jim?
I think it was low, and it's quite possible Martinez is probably having his worst round here for some time, so maybe a little breather, maybe a little bit of experience. He's looking over to his corner here as though, will I make a bigger song about it or not?
Stabs his eye, little cut on the left eyelid, Martinez, and blood from the nose. It's been a very, very good challenge so far from the Argentinian. Can he keep it going, or will Williams, as you said earlier, grind out the victory? Still to come, a vital night for Manchester's cult featherweight hero Michael Brodie. He was so unlucky when he was robbed against Willie Hareen at super bantamweight. Had a difficult time up against Cabrera, Juan Cabrera, James Hare in an interesting match with Romain Zuman, and Brian McGee against David Starry's conqueror Andre Tyson. Great matches still ahead. Here we have a mini crisis in the career of Richard Williams. Was this low?
Well, it was below the belt, but it wasn't in the danger area. Just as I thought, they're using his experience to get a breather.
Here's the 8th round. The world light middleweight scene ruled and run by the brilliant Oscar De La Hoya, 5-weight world champion. We look forward to his rematch with Sugar Shane Mosley in September. Ronald Winky Wright, the difficult southpaw, holds the IBF belt. Daniel Santos, the WBO. Richard Williams holds for the moment the IBO, but it is in danger of slipping away from him.
Yep, he's got to show some improvement. He's got to come up with something better than this. He's got to pin this fella down, giving him too much room.
Very, very close. There's rumours at ringside that the judges have Martinez ahead. That's the word we're getting. Just like you, Jim, Richard Williams just went back there, and there was another gulp there. What is going on?
I've never seen Richard Williams taking so many punches without reply. There's something drastically missing. I don't know if it's a health problem, if it's a preparation problem, I don't know, but there's definitely something missing. And we're lucky if we're seeing 50% of Richard Williams tonight. There he's walking straight on the punches.
Look at the grimace on his face as he spot on to the counter of Martinez. He was out of the ring for a few months with a viral infection a couple of years ago. It was deemed a mystery illness, and he was given the all clear to box on. Remember when he fought Hussein Osman up in Hartlepool, and Osman came in at the last minute. It was another change of opponent, a bit like tonight, and Williams really struggled that night as well.
That's what it's like tonight, Adam. It's like a lack of energy. There's just something missing from inside him. I mean, if something was wrong in training, I'm sure he wouldn't have taken the match. So I'm just wondering if it's something showing itself up under these conditions. There's without doubt something missing from Richard Williams tonight. I mean, he's doing nothing right, being picked off. No snap, no energy, no strength.
Struggling majorly, Richard Williams, and tries to get that spring in his step. Can't get his jab out, being picked off, hands now dropping. There's a real concern on the look of Don Davis in the corner.
Martinez dropping his hands down to his knees, not worried in the slightest. Perfectly at home there, nods to his corner, and quite rightly so.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Live with us. Come on. Come on. Use the water for this. Come on. You have to go. You have to go now. Right?
So softly spoken, Don Davis. He was with Howard Eastman in the corner when he just couldn't quite get him up for the fight with William Jockey. Look at Williams' head there.
This last few rounds supposed to be yours. Come on. Come on. Huh?
He looks absolutely dejected, doesn't he?
You know, Adam, yesterday when we were speaking to Richard at the weigh-in, he said to me, I'm more nervous about the weigh-in, I just want to get the weigh-in over with. I wonder if he has really struggled to make the weight here. I mean, if he boxed like this in preparation, they would have called the fight off, so he must have been okay in the gym. I wonder maybe if he's killed himself to do the weight. There's definitely, I mean, that is the signs there's something wrong with his health, or he struggled badly at the weight.
Countering right from Martinez, spurs Williams into a little flurry. And I was talking to him at the weigh-in too, as he just shakes his head there, Williams, with more discomfort, and he told me that he always keeps himself just above the light middleweight of 11 stone and doesn't go rushing down. He said he always keeps himself fit, always keeps himself in good shape, and doesn't have a problem with the weight.
Well, we can score that off the list then, Adam. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's causing this, but as I keep saying, something missing.
Now just starting to struggle a bit, saying come on to Martinez, really to himself. People who saw him in the amateurs said that Williams was very, very classy on top, but occasionally when backed up he started just not to have the same effect.
He's trying to drag something out in this round.
Really going for it now. Williams gritting his teeth. Good right hand. Trying to pin Martinez down, but again, he's been caught with more regularity tonight, Jim, than we've ever seen it.
This is unbelievable. 4 punches again without reply. Not quality shots from Martinez, but they're on target.
Again, he sags back to the ropes. And Steve Sims in the corner, trying to beckoning him in, and we know another thing, Jim, with the weight thing. A couple of weeks ago, he was just a couple of pounds over the limit, so you can strike that off your theories.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't imagine, if this was his form in training, I can't imagine they would have gone ahead with the fight and allowed the fight to be brought forward. I can't imagine, so this must be something that has just shown itself in the last couple of days.
Are you saying that it may be this mystery illness that they never really cleared up?
It's got to be something, Adam. I've never seen him as bad as this. The timing from the start was non-existent. He's managed to get this fellow on the floor, but apart from that, nothing has gone right.
It's actually quite worrying to watch Richard Williams like this, because we've seen his classy cameos against the likes of Paul Samuels and Shannon Taylor and Tony Bedea, the big knockout wins as well. He did have a couple of years off between 97 and 99, where he wasn't really in love with the game as well. Look at the head again bowed. What are they going to say?
There's the punch stats. Wouldn't be surprised if it was even wider than that.
Not sure why Williams is ahead on the success rate.
See again, being picked off without reply.
9 minutes for Richard Williams to do something to retain his IBO light middleweight title, because it's slipping away quite dramatically. But what's more alarming is the manner in which Sergio Martinez, a competent but fairly average southpaw, has dealt with Williams. Uppercuts landing in again. This is how Jim has it. 4 points ahead to Martinez. So on your card, Williams either needs knockdowns or knockouts.
Yep. I mean, I don't want to be unkind to Martinez and not give him credit for what he's doing. He's boxing well, he's doing everything right, he's confusing Williams, just a push. And you have to give Martinez full credit for what he's doing, but there's definitely something wrong with Richard Williams.
Bundles Richard Williams to the floor. He just about manages a smile through the gum shield, but it looks like he's really hurting in there. Nothing has gone right, apart from the brief knockdown in the third round. Again, that southpaw jab and the left hand. Do you think it's the sparring?
I mean, if it was sparring, he would have sparked in his punches. The punches would be missing because the timing wouldn't be right. But he'd be throwing decent punches, but he's just been lifeless tonight. It's just no snap, no strength. So bad sparring, it would still look strong. It might look a bit awkward, he might miss with his punches, but that's not been the case. Totally outboxed again.
Did land a right hand some 20 seconds ago that got his corner animated, but Martinez sucked it up and came straight back. Trying just to trade with him, Williams. But has he got the strength left? Is there enough?
He just can't seem to sustain an attack. A little bit of blood. Martinez has died there. Nothing serious.
Trebling the jab, Sergio Martinez, and Richard Williams backed up on the ropes. Very little coming back now from the Stockwell light middleweight. He hasn't thrown a punch in about 20 or 30 seconds now.
There's just no strength there, Adam. There's nothing in the tank whatsoever.
Should the corner be thinking of pulling him out?
Well, not really, Adam. I mean, he's not taking a beating here. He's not performing, but he's not taking a beating. But look at his legs. There's no strength. Definitely something wrong with Richard Williams tonight.
Well, do they get him out and save him for another day if they think there's a problem in there?
You have to knock him out. You have to knock him off to win this fight. You understand? You can't stay up on the rope for 4. You understand what I'm saying?
Round 11.
Round 11, you have to knock him out.
Leave it again down my side.
Right? Drink some water.
Well, there are no knockouts needed, Jim, but there wasn't a sense of real urgency in there, or
he's just standing. I think they know Richard has nothing in the tank from what he's been telling them in the earlier rounds. They know they're hoping against hope, but I think they've resigned themselves. Richard just doesn't have it tonight. Last second, he's still on the stool.
Very, very slow up. Martinez had covered the whole ring.
I think he looks as though he's thinking about quitting there, Adam. That was a strange look.
I am quite surprised, actually, that Don Davis didn't decide to end matters there. He's obviously given the power that Williams has. He's letting him go out. It's such a difficult decision in boxing, and Wayne McCulloch wasn't pulled out by Kenny Kroom against Scott Harrison. Michael Gomez was when he was in real trouble by Brian Hughes.
I mean, I wouldn't think of it pulling Richard Williams out of this. I mean, he's not taking a beating. He's been outboxed, he's beaten. But I mean, this is a rough game. I mean, if he stopped every fight because somebody was losing, then people would stop buying tickets. There's no reason to pull him out. I think he has enough left to go the distance. But his title, he can say goodbye to that.
Isn't the health aspect more important, though?
Well, I don't know if there is something wrong with him. I mean, I can't imagine if he was like this in the gymnasium, would they have taken the fight? Would they have allowed the switch of dates? So this is something that's just shown itself today. It must be something that, right from the off, there's been something missing. He has the look of a man who's struggled at the weight, but you're telling me that's not the case. But that's definitely what the symptoms are.
He tells me, I don't know. Boxers could well be keeping secrets, excuse the pun, to themselves. But he always looks, when I see him out of the ring from time to time, in very good nick. Oh, and Martinez goes down in the 11th round. Well, he found the power for that, Richard Williams. He looks almost exhausted as he waits, but so does Martinez. Is this a dramatic turnaround? Can Richard Williams cling on to his IBO belt? He's going for it.
Well, whatever he has left, he better pour it out now. This could well be his last chance.
Well, somehow, despite being on such shaky legs and having almost no fuel in the engine, Richard Williams found a second shot to floor Martinez. But now he's being backed up again. What a strange ending to this strange affair.
See, Martinez is the one with the powers of recovery. He's shaken off the effects of the punch. And Williams is back as bad as ever. Gulping breath through his mouth. Nothing left whatsoever.
Oh, he's tottering now, Richard Williams. And Martinez, if he just had the strength to put a couple together. Look at Richard Williams walk back to the corner now. Absolutely, totally shattered. And that worries me, Jim. Does it worry you?
It does me, because I think that every ounce he had, he poured it into that final attack after the knockdown. He has nothing left. He is exhausted. Now is a time to think, do we pull him out there? His title's gone anyway. Is there any chance of a knockout? I don't see it. Good left hook. You see, he found the strength to deliver that one. But his eyes are clear. He's looking straight back up, like a grimace or a smile or whatever on his face. But he wasn't seriously hurt, and he finished the round the stronger.
It's so hard, isn't it? Because they've seen him floor Martinez in the 11th. Maybe they think he can somehow pull this out of the bag, but again looking at in between the rounds. He said earlier, before he may be on the verge possibly of thinking about quitting, Richard Williams, I don't think would want to do that. He is going to just try and summon up every single ounce that's left in that weary body and produce what would be a miracle punch.
It was just a strange mannerism at the beginning of the 11th round. He sat in the stool until after the bell, then he got up and looked back for the corner again. I don't know what was in his mind. It wasn't the job. That one was
definitely low, and Richard Williams puts out his hand to the referee. They're going to have a timeout here. The other one might have been on the border. That was blatantly a low punch and a desperation from Williams, surely.
Yeah, no, I think a definite accident, because Williams straight away, he did put his hand up to that. Bang, yep. That was a bit closer to the danger area, no question. And then you can see his hand going up. He knew straight away, definitely accidental, but definitely a low blow.
He's trying to throw everything. He's got his hands up in the other corner, Richard Williams. I think he's almost praying. He's quite a religious guy. I think he knows he needs. He looks up at the ceiling too. Richard Williams, he's hoping beyond hope that he can pull something out, trigger off one of his big shots, because he's an intelligent guy and he'll know that the titles will be going to Sergio Martinez in a couple of minutes, unless he just finds one.
You wonder, maybe half a minute of this might just exhaust him again, because there's nothing in the tank.
Martinez just starting to complain.
Acting up a little bit, just trying to buy more time.
So right hand from Richard Williams again gets through, tries to back Martinez up, but once again the Argentinian turns his man, and Richard Williams has to hang on here with a minute and a half to go.
See, that little half-minute attack, Adam, has emptied the tank again.
He falls back again, this time up against the ropes alongside us. He's fighting on instinct, Richard Williams. Sheer bravery and courage from the Stockwell light middleweight. Look at that.
There's still a full minute to go, Adam.
Oh, he may well be stopped unless he can find something. Referee having a close look. Oh, he has to go down, Richard Williams. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong tonight for the lovely guy from South London. It is his boxing world falling apart. Sergio Martinez piles the punches in, and Frank Santore has a very close look. He's going to go in, surely. Nothing is left. Nothing's coming back from Williams. 20 seconds left. The referee, surely Jim must stop it.
Yeah, I think the referee's aware of how far into the round, and he's not taking blood-curdling shots. He's been pummeled, but he's managing to keep his head moving and not taking any jawbreakers. But it looks as though he's going to hang on to the end, thankfully without serious injury.
Oh my word, look at those legs. Richard Williams holds onto the ropes, and John McDonnell, the MC, goes and helps him to the chair. Well,
the corner should have a chair in there. He should be sitting down here.
Oh, that was really horrible to watch, that last round, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you've got to give him credit for gritting his teeth and hanging on in there. He had to go on the floor for some respect. But definitely don't want to take credit away from Martinez. Did a splendid job tonight, but something sadly wrong with Richard Williams tonight. You can see totally exhausted, just trying to survive. If you had told me I would see Richard Williams in that condition in any fight with any opponent, I wouldn't have believed it. I wonder, is this the end? 32 years of age, can he pick himself up from this and carry on? I don't know.
He knows there's life beyond boxing as well, Richard Williams. He will certainly not want to go out like this. No, some people have said he's got maybe a fragile makeup. I think he's answered that tonight. No way. He showed guts and courage to get through it. The questions, though, you've got to ask: should he have been in there? Should the corner have pulled him out? Should the referee have stopped it? Is health more important? This is how Jim has it. Well, it's a resounding defeat for Richard Williams. John Coyle, Terry O'Connor and Andre van Groetenboer from Belgium will confirm it, but there's no question. The IBO light middleweight belt will belong to Sergio Martinez. Decent performance from him as they tot up the scores, but well, all the attention on Richard Williams, and he manages a smile, and he's got through it, and he'll be very respectful to Martinez. But a sad, sad night.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 incredible rounds of boxing, the judges' scorecards read: Judge Terry O'Connor, 115-110. Judge John Coyle, 115-112. Judge Andre van Groetenboer, 116-110. All three judges are in favor of. And a new IBO light middleweight champion of the world, Sergio Martinez.
Look at that respect from Richard Williams. A wonderful sight to see, and it's good that he's back on his feet. Sergio Martinez beats Richard Williams. Williams loses for the second time.